5 hidden dangers of traveling after 70 that every senior must know before their next trip. Have you ever dreamed of traveling the world after 70? To walk through ancient streets, feel the sea breeze on your face, and live out the adventures you once promised yourself? But what if I told you the very journey you are planning could quietly put your health, your savings, and even your independence at risk? What if a simple mistake far from home turned a dream trip into a frightening ordeal? Today, we are going to uncover 5 hidden dangers that every senior must know before packing their bags. These are not rare accidents. They are silent risks that many overlook until it is too late. Stay with me, because understanding these dangers could be the key to making your travels joyful, safe, and filled only with good memories. Let us begin. Danger 1. Medical emergencies without immediate help. When you are home, help is only a call away. Your doctor, your hospital, your family, they are within reach, ready to catch you if you stumble. But the moment you step onto a plane or into a foreign city, that safety net begins to thin. At 70, 75, or 80, our bodies are not the same as they were decades ago. A heart that once beat strong through long hikes may now be more fragile. A mild respiratory infection can turn severe in a matter of hours. Even a change in air pressure during a long-haul flight can trigger dangerous conditions like deep vein thrombosis, blood clots that form silently in the legs and can travel to the lungs. Imagine this. James, a lively 74-year-old retiree, set sail with his wife on a dream Mediterranean cruise. On the 4th night, under a sky full of stars, he began to experience crushing chest pain. There was no emergency room, no specialist down the hall, just the ship's modest infirmary, and a long, anxious wait for a helicopter evacuation that took precious hours. He survived, but the fear, the helplessness, the feeling of being far from real help, it changed him forever. Many seniors do not realize Medicare and most U.S. insurance plans do not cover overseas medical care. Without a proper travel insurance plan, even a single hospital visit abroad can cost tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket. An emergency evacuation. It can climb above $50,000 in just one flight. And it is not just about the money. It is about time, precious, critical minutes that could mean the difference between a minor incident and a life-altering tragedy. So how can you protect yourself? Before traveling, always schedule a complete health checkup with your primary doctor. Discuss your destination. Ask about any risks based on your health history. Carry a full supply of your medications, enough to last your entire trip, plus an extra week. Research hospitals near your destinations, not just in big cities, but anywhere you might stay overnight. And perhaps most importantly, invest in comprehensive travel health insurance. Look for plans that cover emergency evacuation, hospital stays, and pre-existing conditions. It is not an extra expense. It is a lifeline, because in the end, the best souvenir you can bring back from your travels is your health, safe, strong, and ready for your next adventure. Now, while medical risks are perhaps the most urgent danger, they are not the only silent threat waiting on the road. Danger 2. Hidden infections and local disease risks. When you visit a new place, it is easy to be swept away by the excitement. The bustling markets, the colorful street food, the smiling faces. But hidden in that charm can be invisible dangers, especially for a body that no longer fights infections like it once did. After 70, the immune system naturally weakens. It becomes slower to recognize threats, slower to respond, and slower to heal. A small infection that a younger traveler might brush off could grow into something serious, even life-threatening, for a senior. Crowded airports, packed airplanes, public restrooms, these are breeding grounds for viruses and bacteria from every corner of the world. Have you ever heard of traveler's diarrhea? It sounds like a mild inconvenience until dehydration sets in and throws the body into a dangerous spiral. Or respiratory infections like influenza, pneumonia, or new unfamiliar strains of viruses you may have little resistance against. They can hit older lungs with alarming speed and force. And then there is the water. In many places, the water is not treated the same way it is back home. Even ice cubes in a fancy restaurant, or a seemingly harmless salad washed in tap water, can carry bacteria that upset your stomach for days, or land you in a hospital bed far from home. Let me tell you about Mary, a sprightly 76-year-old from Ohio. She had traveled all her life without any problems. Last summer, she joined a river cruise through Southeast Asia. One afternoon, after sampling a fresh fruit juice from a local vendor, she started feeling nauseous. By evening, she was severely dehydrated, confused, and too weak to leave her cabin. The ship's doctor diagnosed her with a severe gastrointestinal infection. It took a week in a foreign hospital, IV fluids, and round-the-clock care before she could even think about flying home. It was a trip she had dreamed of for years, but in the end, she remembered only the hospital ceiling, not the temples she had traveled across the world to see. This is not meant to scare you away from adventure. It is a reminder. After 70, your first line of defense, your immune system, needs your help more than ever. So how can you protect yourself? Start with prevention. Before traveling internationally, check with your doctor about vaccines. Not just the ones you had as a child, but adult boosters like tetanus, influenza, pneumococcal vaccines, and special travel vaccines like hepatitis A or typhoid, depending on your destination. Practice safe eating and drinking abroad. Only drink bottled water. Make sure the seal is intact. Avoid ice unless you know it was made with purified water. Eat foods that are thoroughly cooked and served hot. Skip raw salads, unpeeled fruits, and street food if you are unsure about cleanliness. Carry a small emergency kit with rehydration salts, anti-diarrheal medications, and a thermometer. And do not forget hand hygiene. Frequent hand washing and carrying a small bottle of hand sanitizer can be one of the simplest, most powerful ways to avoid illness. It might seem like a lot of preparation. But think of it this way. Each small precaution is a step toward protecting the beautiful memories you are about to create. Because falling ill far from home, alone, frightened, vulnerable, is not just miserable. It can steal the joy from what should be one of the best chapters of your life. And while infection can take your body by surprise, there is another danger that sneaks up even more silently, hidden not in germs or bacteria, but in the simple exhaustion of pushing too hard. Danger 3. Severe travel fatigue and mental disorientation. When we were younger, a long day of travel meant sore feet, maybe a little jet lag. Nothing a good night's sleep could not fix. But after 70, the body tells a different story. And sometimes it is not just the body that struggles. It is the mind. Travel fatigue in seniors is not just about feeling tired. It is a deep exhaustion, one that seeps into your muscles, your mind, and your spirit. And it can take days or even weeks to recover from. Imagine stepping off a 10-hour flight. Your legs feel heavy, your back aches, and your mind is foggy. Simple decisions, like finding your hotel, reading a map, remembering your room number, suddenly feel overwhelming. It is not just exhaustion. It is something deeper, mental disorientation, And it is dangerous. At home, you know your streets, your routines, your surroundings. But in a new city, with unfamiliar languages, unfamiliar signs, unfamiliar faces, even a small slip in concentration can lead to getting lost, making mistakes, or falling prey to scams. Richard, a 78-year-old from Texas, always prided himself on being sharp and independent. But after arriving in Paris after a long, restless flight, he found himself struggling. He forgot which metro stop was his hotel. He wandered for hours, confused, disoriented, and increasingly anxious. By the time he found his way back, he was exhausted, dehydrated, and deeply shaken. It took him days to recover, days stolen from a trip he had been planning for years. Fatigue also magnifies other dangers. Reaction times slow down. Balance becomes unsteady. Small missteps, a stumble on a curb, a wrong turn down an alley, can escalate quickly. Add to that the challenges of irregular sleep schedules, jet lag, unfamiliar beds, noisy hotels, and you have a recipe for not just exhaustion, but accidents. So what can you do to protect your body and mind while traveling? First, pace yourself. Gone are the days of sprinting through museums, hopping between cities every other day. Choose a slower rhythm. Spend at least 2 or 3 days in each place. Build in full rest days with no activities planned. Give your body time to adjust to new time zones gradually, 1 hour per day if possible. Second, prioritize comfort and hydration. Bring supportive shoes. Carry a refillable water bottle. Snack regularly to keep your blood sugar stable. Third, simplify your plans. Use organized transportation when possible. Stay in hotels located near major attractions. Limit activities that require complicated navigation, long walks, or constant standing. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel the creeping fog of exhaustion, it is not weakness. It is wisdom. Your body telling you it needs care. Because a trip remembered for peaceful mornings at a cafe, slow strolls through a garden, and quiet conversations with locals is far richer and far safer than one lost in a blur of rushing, fatigue, and regret. But while fatigue can quietly steal your energy, there is another danger even more sudden and even more devastating. Danger 4. Dangerous falls in unfamiliar terrain. At home, every step is familiar. You know where the rug bunches up. You know which stair creaks. You know the little uneven crack on the sidewalk outside your door. But when you travel, every step becomes a question mark. And after 70, even the smallest misstep can have life-changing consequences. Falls are one of the greatest dangers seniors face, and they are far more common during travel than many realize. The sidewalks in old European cities are charming, but they are often cracked, uneven, or made of slippery stone. Hotel bathtubs can be steep and dangerous without proper grab bars. Historic sites might have winding staircases without railings. Even getting off a bus quickly when everyone is rushing can create a moment of imbalance you cannot recover from. And at this age, a fall is not just a scraped knee. A fall can mean a broken hip, a fractured wrist, or even a traumatic brain injury. It can mean emergency surgery in a foreign hospital. Weeks, even months, of painful recovery. And sometimes, sadly, it can mean never regaining the independence you once enjoyed. Let me share the story of Linda, a vibrant 78-year-old who had always dreamed of visiting Italy. She walked every day at home, took yoga classes, and felt strong. But one evening in Florence, on a narrow cobblestone street dimly lit by old lamps, she caught her toe on a loose stone and fell hard onto her side. She broke her hip. The rest of her dream trip disappeared into hospital walls and insurance paperwork. She spent 3 months in rehab after returning home. And even then, she never walked quite the same way again. Linda later said with tears in her eyes, "It was just one step. One step that changed everything." It is a sobering thought, but it is also something you can prepare for. Before you travel, focus on strength and balance training. Simple exercises, like standing on one foot while holding a counter for support, or gentle Tai Chi movements, can dramatically improve your balance and stability. When packing, prioritize proper footwear. Forget fashionable sandals or slippery dress shoes. Bring sturdy, supportive walking shoes with good grip. Shoes you have broken in at home. When exploring a new place, slow down. Take smaller steps. Use railings. Do not rush to keep up with a tour group if it feels unsafe. At hotels, check the room carefully. Ask for a ground floor room if possible. Place a towel inside the bathtub to prevent slipping. Keep a light on at night to prevent stumbles in the dark. If mobility is a challenge, consider bringing a cane. Even if you do not always use one at home, some modern walking sticks even come with small foldable seats, perfect for resting during long walks. Because one fall, one accident, can take away the freedom that travel is meant to celebrate. And while falls are a physical danger, there is one final hidden threat that can strike just as painfully, but in a completely different way. Danger 5. Financial scams and technology pitfalls abroad. When you think about travel risks, your mind naturally goes to health issues, maybe a slip or a fall. But there is another threat, quieter, sneakier, and just as devastating. And it targets seniors every single day. Financial scams. When you are far from home, unfamiliar with the local customs, the language, or even the way prices work, you become a prime target. Scammers can spot a tourist in seconds, and unfortunately they often see seniors as easier marks. It can start with something simple. A friendly driver offering you a special price for a taxi ride, 3 times the normal fare. A charming street vendor who insists you pay in cash, and somehow your change never comes back. Or worse, a Wi-Fi hotspot in an airport cafe that looks legitimate, but is actually a fake, quietly stealing your credit card information the moment you log in. There are also elaborate traps, fake tour companies that vanish after taking your deposit, hotel bookings made online that turn out to be scams, leaving you stranded late at night, or strangers offering to help with your ATM withdrawal while memorizing your PIN. Let me tell you about George, a thoughtful 76-year-old who loved technology. Before his Caribbean trip, he booked a beautiful oceanfront hotel through a flashy website he found online. The photos looked amazing. The reviews seemed great. But when he arrived, the hotel did not exist. The address led to an empty lot. He lost over $2,000 in a single click. And that was just the beginning. He had to scramble to find a last-minute hotel at triple the price and spend days fighting to recover even a fraction of his money. George's story is not rare. In fact, according to the FBI's Internet Crime Report, seniors lost over $1 billion to scams just last year, and travel scams are among the fastest-growing threats. So how can you protect yourself? First, always use reputable companies when booking travel. If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. Stick to well-known websites or book directly through airline and hotel official pages. Second, be cautious with Wi-Fi. Avoid logging into sensitive accounts, like your bank or email, while using public Wi-Fi abroad. Consider installing a VPN, virtual private network, on your phone or laptop before you travel. It is inexpensive, easy to use, and can protect your information from prying eyes. Third, carry 2 credit cards, one for daily use, one locked away as a backup. Use credit, not debit, whenever possible. Credit cards offer far stronger fraud protection, and always stay alert. If someone seems a little too eager to help, if a deal sounds a little too sweet, if a situation feels off, trust your instincts. Because losing money on vacation is not just about the dollars. It is about the stress, the fear, the shame, the feeling that the beautiful memories you worked so hard for have been tainted. At this stage in life, you deserve better. You deserve peace of mind, security, and joy. And while we have now uncovered 5 major dangers, remember, the goal of knowing these risks is not to stop you from exploring the world. It is to help you do it with wisdom, with confidence, and with the full power of preparation by your side. Traveling after 70 is not something you must give up. In fact, if anything, it is a beautiful dream that deserves to be lived, fully, wisely, and joyfully. But as we have seen today, travel at this stage of life carries hidden dangers that many overlook. Medical emergencies far from home, invisible infections that can strike when you least expect them, crushing fatigue that clouds both body and mind, sudden falls that can change everything in a heartbeat, and silent financial traps that can steal your peace and savings. Each of these dangers is real, but none of them are undefeatable, because knowledge is power. Preparation is strength, and wisdom, your wisdom, is the greatest travel companion you will ever have. If you plan carefully, listen to your body, protect yourself with the right tools, and travel with patience and mindfulness, the world is still open to you, rich with places to see, people to meet, and memories to create. Remember, at this stage, the goal is not to see how many miles you can cover, how many cities you can tick off your list. The goal is to experience life with depth, gratitude, and health intact. Choose your journeys with care. Pace yourself with love. Travel not to chase time, but to celebrate it. If today's insights helped you, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned, or one tip you will carry with you for your next adventure. Your experiences, your thoughts, they inspire all of us in this growing community. And if you found this video valuable, please like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to our channel. There is so much more wisdom, health, and hope to explore together. Until next time, may every step you take, at home or abroad, be safe, steady, and filled with wonder. Thank you for being here. And remember, your best journeys are still ahead.